Hi Scorpio, welcome back to the Astrology 33 channel. This is your September 2023 tarot reading. Thank you to those of you who like, viewed, shared, and subscribed to the channel. I appreciate all of that. For those of you new to the channel, as far as what we have in front of us, the Celtic Cross spread as always, and also pulled the 4 agreements, Wisdom, Oracle, and Mudra card for you guys. We're actually going to start the reading off by rolling those astrology dice we have in front of us to get an idea of where your focus should be as far as that goes. Alright, we have Libra, and for you guys, it's actually your 12th house. And as we get toward the end of September, we're going to step into Libra season. Of course, we actually have the South Node that recently moved into Libra as well. And 12th house in general points to spirituality, blind spots, and mental health. All right, we have Mars. And Mars is going to be actually in Libra for a good portion of September. Actually, the whole month, I believe. So again, we see the 12th house energy playing out there. And we have 6. So 6th house energy for you guys is actually Aries. At the very end of September, there's going to be a full moon in Aries. We also had the North Node move into Aries recently. And we've had Chiron there for quite some time as well. And 6th house in general points to health, work, daily routines. So we'll keep all that in mind as we go through the main spread. All right, in the main situation position, we have the Star card, Aquarius energy, and challenging that, we have the 8 of Swords, Gemini energy. So 4th house and 8th house coming up for you guys. So what I see with this could just be saying that you guys might have gone through a bit of healing recently, and it could just be saying with this showing up as the challenge, it might have been something that you were really resistant to heal from for whatever reason. Maybe there was a lack of a desire to actually look at the situation clearly, and that could have been what kept the wound lingering a little longer than you would have liked. But it looks like you have gone through that process now. All right, in the foundation position, we have the 4 of Pentacles. So this is a Capricorn energy here, which represents your 3rd house communication, and we have Pluto, which is your ruler back in these degrees of Capricorn. So it could just be saying that for whatever reason you might have held back around communicating about it, right? So it could have been one of those things that was really bothering you for a long time. For whatever reason, you didn't feel comfortable to speak about it, and then that could have just let the wound fester for a while. All right, in the past position, we have the Magician. So yeah, to me, this is an indicator that says that for sure, I feel like deep down you might have known that you did have the tools available to actually help you heal from the wound. But like I said, for whatever reason, maybe you just felt like the timing wasn't really right to fully look at the situation and clear it out. Right, present position, we have the 9 of Wands. So Sagittarius energy here. And yeah, to me, this says you could still be guarded around the situation, right? Almost feeling like, okay, even as you do heal from the process, you might feel like it's only a matter of time before you encounter a similar situation again, right? Which obviously doesn't necessarily have to be the reality, but we just spoke about all the energy buzzing through your 12th house, and 12th house can bring up a lot of those subconscious fears. So that could be what you guys are experiencing right now. And with the South Node moving through there, possibly clearing that energy out as well. So in that regard, it might actually help you with that. Okay, in near future position, we have the 9 of Pentacles. So this is Virgo energy here, actually represents the middle 10 degrees of Virgo. So for some of you, might actually start to feel a shift in your energy as we progress through Virgo season, possibly early September, middle September. But yeah, looking at this here, it could just be saying that the key might actually be for you to actually get out and just try to enjoy some time in nature, right? Disconnect a little bit, and that might actually help you clear some of this energy out. Especially around the time of that Virgo full moon, because it's actually going to make a supportive aspect with Uranus, which is in your opposite sign. So if this is around some relationship dynamics that you needed to clear out, that would really help with that too. All right, in the position of your influence in a situation, we have the 5 of Swords. So this is Aquarius energy popping up again here. So given that we see the Star card, which is Aquarius energy in the main situation, I feel like if this is a dynamic that you had been engaging in. I feel like this is saying that you will be clearing that out this month. So maybe there was a bit of a lack of awareness around this dynamic that you might have been wrapped up in for a long time, right? A wounding, possibly going back to your early childhood, right? Where you just maybe it was you grew up in this type of environment where that was how situations were handled, so you might have just naturally gravitated toward handling things the same way. Um, what always stands out to me with the Five of Swords, of course, is that this person's holding three swords, right? So that makes you think of the Three of Swords energy, which is obviously a wounded energy. So it could just be one of those things where if you like awareness to that wound, right, you could wound others around you and not even really realize that you're wrapped up in that dynamic. So that could be what some of you have been clearing out as well. All right, in the environment position, we have the Six of Wands. So in a more positive sense, this could definitely represent you guys feeling that sense of victory over overcoming this wound, this dynamic that you might have been repeating in the past, right? And I do have to say, if this does represent someone else, given that this is the environment, this could also just be saying that if you do engage in that type of dynamic, karmically, it looks like it would just benefit this person anyway. So whether it's a public perception thing, given that Leo energy represents your 10th house, could just be that, people see this take place and they would side with the other person, things along those lines there. So just be on the lookout for that this month. But for a lot of you, I feel like this is more pointing to your energy, going along with that star card there, saying that this is you overcoming this cycle that you've been wrapped up in for a long time. All right, in the hopes or fears position, we have the Five of Pentacles. So I'm going to assume this was more of a fear for you guys, and there's possibly just a fear that you didn't feel like you could truly make it out of this cycle. So yeah, like I said, for a lot of you, given that we're seeing that fourth house energy popping up there, could have been something that's been with you since early childhood, and for whatever reason now you're finally at that point where you're looking at these things and addressing them and finally putting them behind you, which is good. All right, and in the outcome position, we have the Strength card. So Leo energy again here. Major Arcana card for Leo, in fact. And now, if this was all playing out in some, let's say, in a workplace dynamic, or because, 10th house for you guys being Leo, that is career, but it's also social status. So if this was just playing out publicly as well, where people might have had that awareness of this wound, but maybe you didn't, right? So, for example, it could just be as simple as doesn't have to be nefarious, but maybe you just had this thing where you'd push people away, right, because of fear for whatever reason. So could just be representing getting that under wraps this month and knowing, the time and the place to exert your energy, things along those lines. So definitely looks like a positive outcome there. And this could just be pointing to the fact that we'll be wrapping up the Leo retrograde cycle, the Venus retrograde cycle in Leo as we move through September. It's going to technically start direct motion early in September, but it's going to really be clearing through the post shadow period through all the rest of September and into early October. But you might already be feeling the positive impact there. All right, bottom of the deck, we have the Queen of Wands. So this is Leo energy here, Aries energy here. And we also saw that come up with your dice as well. So yeah, for somebody, this could have been playing out in the work dynamic in some way, but could have just been playing out maybe in a self-sabotaging type of manner. But either way, it's good to see you guys overcoming it, regardless of the area that it was impacting. All right, moving on to your Four Agreements card, we have Don't Make Assumptions, and it says Let Your Life Be Transformed. All right. It says when you stop making assumptions, your word becomes impeccable and your life is completely transformed. Magic just happens in your life. What you need comes to you easily because spirit moves freely through you. So, definitely an interesting message there because, like we said, we're wrapping up that Venus retrograde cycle in early September, and then we also have a Mercury retrograde cycle that'll be taking place in September in your 11th house of hopes and wishes. So, definitely be some clearing out energies taking place for you guys in September. For your Wisdom Oracle card, we have the Fates. Here's the artwork and the number 17. Let's see what this has to say. Okay, essential meanings says fate, karma, acceptance that there are things you cannot change, and knowing what those things are. The Serenity Prayer sums up the meaning of this card. God grant me the serenity to accept the things I cannot change, the courage to change the things I can, and the wisdom to know the difference. There are things in life you will never have control over. The conditions brought on by the evolution of the collective, by nature, and by your past experiences may be fated, preordained by spirit for a greater purpose you cannot understand in this lifetime. It may not be in your cards to understand why certain events occurred, but you can accept the mystery and work with what those events and your current circumstances have to teach you. This is the wisdom contained in the Serenity Prayer. So yeah, reading that message for sure definitely seems to align with what we were talking about with the healing energy that you guys seem to be going through. And I mean, interestingly enough, we see 17 on that card, and that's also the number of the star card as well. All right, the relationship message says other people are who they are. You can't change them. The challenge is to accept them as they are and not try to make them otherwise to suit you. This is a time to look at how you attempt to mold people to fit your view of how they should be, so you can remain in a relationship and avoid discomfort. What if who they are, and whatever is happening between you and them in this situation, is perfect from the perspective of spirit? Now is the time to accept what you cannot change, even if it means that you honor yourself, spirit, and the other person by moving on. Love unconditionally, for each of us is on our own journey, and we cannot direct that of another. Be aware that this relationship is indeed fated, and you are meant to evolve into a better version of yourself as a result of it. So yeah, definitely a positive message there as well. I mean, this didn't necessarily look like a romantic connection dynamic, but like I said, for some of you, it could have been playing out in that way too, so that resonated. The prosperity message says your experiences concerning prosperity and abundance are beyond your personal control right now. You are being invited to accept what is unreservedly. This could be a temporary situation seemingly thrust upon you by outside forces, but there is an underlying purpose you can't see that has been determined by the fates. It could be a situation you are unprepared for, and you may not understand how it will benefit you in a moment. Do not fight the situation. Ride it out and see where it leads. Surrender to it, and the serenity you need to make good choices from here on out will be given to you. You will indeed flourish. So again, definitely a positive message there. Like I said, it looks like for a lot of you, you've already gone through the bumps around the situation, and it looks like you're already moving toward the healing phase. But for those of you that hasn't seemed to have been taking place for you yet, hopefully that resonated. All right, and lastly, we have a mudra for you guys. This is your mudra here. It's the Abhaya Hrdaya mudra. The keyword for it is rejuvenation. Okay, well, we're not going to be able to fit everything in the frame at once, so what I'll do is hold it up here for a second if you want to pause it, take a screenshot to read what it has to say, and then we'll get the rest of it in the frame. Under benefits, it says nourishes the heart and lungs, improves digestion, and imparts a powerful sense of vitality and calm, can help reduce nightmares and reestablish basic sanity to a troubled mind. Use of this mudra is especially helpful during times of exhaustion, healing from debilitating illness, or regaining strength after surgery. Energetically, it allows heat to descend from the head through the chest down into the belly, thus regulating a healthy function of all the internal organs. So if that sounds like a mudra you think would be beneficial for you guys, we'll put the name in the description of the video as always. So we'll wrap up there, and I'll see you guys next month. All right, bye.